Hello, this is Mike Genetti from SpotTrack.com breaking down David Njoku's 4-year, $54.75 million contract with the Cleveland Browns. Slightly less than the reported value of $56.75, drops that average salary to $13.6 million on an average basis. Still top 5 tight end money, still a strong contract, not an extension. He had a franchise tag offer of $10.9 million. They've ripped that up, built it into this 4-year contract. It's a brand new 4-year deal. And as you can see here, for all intents, it's going to be 3 years just shy of $40 million, and that's without the incentives he can get every single year. There's a chance that this thing is a one and done. There's a decent chance this thing is 2 for 25, and then he's moved elsewhere or outright released with $3 million a guaranteed salary in 2024. We'll get to that in a second. But pretty strong deal just on the surface when looking quickly at this. He gets $17 million fully guaranteed at signing. That's an $11.4 million signing bonus, this current year base minimum salary, and next year's $4.5 million salary. All that's locked in right now, fully guaranteed. By March of 2023, and my assumption is that it's going to be the 3rd or 5th league day of March next year, this $8 million option bonus becomes fully guaranteed. It is guaranteed for injury, so he's got some protection on this. And then, as I mentioned, $3 million of 2024 fully guarantees next March as well. So there is some guarantees that trickle into that 3rd year, and whether that's enough to move on from or not remains to be seen. But look, this is a guy who's going to have a big time role in this offense with Deshaun Watson. So I'm being probably more optimistic about this than some out there may. And I'm going to give it the 3-year practical guarantee right out of the gate here. I'm going to say, for all intents, he's going to get 3 for just about 40 out of this contract. And oh, by the way, he's only 28 years old at that point in time. We can rip up this, start over fresh. And that's either with Cleveland or if he's outright released at this point, he's back on the open market by 29. So good work by his agent and by Njoku to get locked in where he wants to be right now. He's got a real chance to break out this year, fully break out with Deshaun Watson under the helm. And I do think that the price is right. Cap hit wise, you couldn't ask for much more, right? They've added 2 void years here to spread out this signing bonus and that option bonus the full 5 years. And that means $3.3 million on the cap right now for Cleveland. Certainly something they can work with. And if we push the next year, just over $8 million on the cap for 2023 when we should have close to $230 million to work with. They're going to have to start being creative like this and finicky like this with some of their smaller contracts, because obviously what Watson's bringing to the table, Denzel Ward's contract, Myles Garrett's contract, just to name a few, those are hefty, big time, top of the market extensions. So even when they do break out some guys for a couple of years like this, it's not going to be front loaded. Unfortunately, they're going to have to be very frivolous with how they handle their cap over the first 2 years. And obviously, there's a gigantic jump between 23 and 24 in terms of the cap hit. So if they're comfortable with Njoku in this offense come March 2024, it's pretty safe to expect some sort of restructure here on that 13 million. These are per game active bonuses. Maybe you build those in, probably keep those where they are, protect yourself from injuries a little bit if you're Cleveland. But that 13 million is saying, if we're confident, we'll go ahead and restructure this. You've already got 4 years to work with. You can tack on a 3rd void year and spread out what would be a restructured signing bonus over a full 5 years. And then you've got a more comfortable cap hit in 2024 as well. But nothing to worry about over the next 2 years. I'm going to quickly speak to what happens if this doesn't work out in 2022 here. And there could be a lot of reasons. If Deshaun misses most of this season and Jacoby Brissett comes in and David Njoku just can't find his way in this offense, there's a chance that they look to get out of this. Now, it's a tradable contract, right? I mean, this $8 million is essentially a second signing bonus. So you'd want the new team to take on this. And it is not fully guaranteed right now. That is not dead cap that Cleveland owns just yet. So let's just say they need to cut bait immediately. And let's say it's an outright release. Well, that 17 million guaranteed would be theirs in a release, would be his. That, and that. Outside of that, the dead cap is pretty doable, right? You'd be taking on the rest of the signing bonus and you'd be preceding the option bonus guarantee and preceding the $3 million guarantee here as long as he's healthy. If this is a healthy release after this season and prior to the third league day of March 2023, you can say it's 1 year, 17 million. We're going to pay you this salary, which most likely has offsets built in. So we're going to pay you. We're going to account for this. We're going to account for this. We're going to account for this. We can cut bait. Maybe you go and sign a 1 year, $5 million deal somewhere else, and that comes off our 2024 salary cap as an adjustment. So there is a way where 54.7 million becomes 1 year, 17 million. And if we think about that in the precipice of the franchise tag that was offered, which was nearly 11 million, he's getting a little bit extra. Some of that comes off per offsets if they need it to be. And they're kind of right back where they were with 1 year, 11, 12 million for David Njoku in 2022. And if we think about it as, what if they didn't extend him, right? What if this was, he plays out the 10.9 million, he adds a second franchise tag for 2023, you're talking 24 million there. So if Cleveland's thinking this is a 2-year plan, it's 2 years and 25 million, which is just slightly above what double tags would be. And he gets a guarantee here. So he gets a little bit of financial security for injuries, things like that. Certainly all of this is injury guaranteed, plus 3 million here is injury guaranteed. So this is why players, agents love the multi-year extension, even if it isn't a top of the market deal, which it is not. He gets a chance to have 2.5 years of injury security versus the franchise tag, which offers you a good chunk of change, almost 11 million, but it is truly a one and done situation. So Cleveland's got a lot of outs here. They can get out after 1. They can certainly get out after 2, and they could absolutely get out after 3 for almost no dead cap cost. Tons of savings in 2024, 25. But even if it gets to the finish line, 4 years, 54 million for a player who's going to be a big time focal point in this offense, just makes a lot of sense to keep him around at this point. Strong deal for both sides. Good deal for Njoku. Well structured. The double bonus situation works well here because these aren't gigantic bonuses, and the void years certainly help the first 2 years of salary caps for Cleveland.